I'm going to make a quick video on the animated mandala, or if you want to create a specific design inside of Illustrator using the live paint bucket and then transferring that over into After Effects to add some really cool animations. So I'm starting off in Illustrator, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep the shapes really simple. First, I'm going to add a polygon. I'm just going to bring that down, and I probably already forgot, but my dimensions that I'm working with is just the common 1366 by 768. And one thing that I found by doing this project is easier if you just keep a stroke as opposed to keeping the fill, because we're going to use the live paint bucket for that. So I'm going to pause this while I get my shapes here together, and I'll let you see where I'm at and the next steps. So I've got 4 shapes, and you'll see how they're relatively close together. They're not really on top of each other, but pretty close together. Sorry, that is my bell. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. You're going to go, next step is going to go to the rotate tool. So if you just hit the letter R as in Robert on your keyboard, you double click on it. Always make sure that you have your preview button set. I've always, when I've done this project, always used 45 degrees. So you just type in 45 and then click on copy. But first, obviously, you have to select it. Okay. Really important here, really important step here. When you click on the rotate tool, you want to make sure that it is in the it has to be the third shape. You want to make sure that you have your center of the rotate tool in there. So you see that where it says path right there? Let's see if I can. You see that little guy right there, that little red bullseye? You want to make sure that that is in the middle of at least your third shape, okay? Because what's going to happen is when you double click on rotate, that is going to be the point at which your shape, your entire shape, is going to rotate. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on copy, and we've made one copy. And now you're either using a Windows or a Mac, it's Control D to copy. On a Windows, it's Command D to copy on a Mac. And so what I'm going to do is I'm copying, but I'm going to go around and keep going until I have all circles with stars in them. And you can see how I've created this cool pattern just by using the Control D or Command D function. Alright, so I'm going to click to unselect it, then I'm going to reselect it, and I'm going to go to Object, Path, in Outline Strokes. Okay. Alright, so this is going to allow me to use my live paint bucket and get really creative with color schemes. Okay, so the live paint bucket, if you've never used it, is a really fun, cool tool. Now, I have some libraries set up with some colors that I like to use. Okay, so what I like to do is load the paint bucket up with colors each time that I need it. Alright, and so you'll see right here on my live paint bucket that it is already pre-filled with white, black, and red. Now, I want to change that, and I want to use red. So you can see how I switch those colors around. Before you use your live paint bucket, you have to select your object, live paint bucket, and go to, I think, try staying right here on red. And so what you're going to do is on your live paint bucket, I'm going to use red. So I'm going to click right here to make this star red, this one red, this one red, and this one red. And now I'm going to go back to my library, and I'm going to choose, let's say, blue. And I'm going to go with blue, 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 and blue. And then let's say I like the shade of mint green. And so I'm trying to get a bigger surface area where I can use this color more. So let's say these up here in this corner are going to be green. These are going to be mint green. These are going to be mint green. These two, and trying to keep the uniform of pattern with it. And sometimes I lose my space of what I'm coloring, what I'm not, and sometimes I may just go ahead and color the whole thing a certain color, or as you can see, I've alternated colors here. And let's say here I wanted to use orange. I can do that right there on the sides. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pause this video, and then I'm going to let you see my end result of how I finished all of my colors. Okay, so you can see the different colors that I've used, and then when I got to the center, I actually kept the same color scheme. There's one little spot that I missed, but I'm not going to worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to export it. So you'll do File, Export, and Export As, and I'm going to send it to my desktop, and make sure that it's transparent. Okay, and so it goes over to your desktop, and there it is. Okay, so you'll bring up After Effects, and I'm going to grab this guy and bring him over here, and now I'm going to place him here, and then I'm going to bring him down here. Okay, and so there it is. If you have, when you bring them in and the background is a different color, you can come to your composition settings and change the background color to dark gray. So here's the next step. The next step is to add an effect that's going to bring these colors in very slowly along your timeline. And my composition is only 4 seconds, but you can do this much longer. But before I do that, I'm going to add rotation. Okay, and so we're going to start keyframing here, and I'm just going to have it go 1 revolution, and we're going to stop our 4 seconds, and we come back, and we change this guy from 0 to 1. Okay, and so let's preview it, make sure that we have it. So we have a rotation, great. And our next step is going to be to find the actual effect that will allow us this beautiful color reveal. And so the effect is called CC Plastic. So I'm going to twirl this guy up, and I'm going to bring in CC Plastic. Okay, so the part of the effect that you're looking for is called Surface Bump. Okay, and so I'm going to actually control it down here. I'm going to twirl this transform up, and I'm going to go to Effect, CC Plastic, and Surface Bump right here. Okay, so I'm going to twirl this down. All right, and so I have my notes, and which one did I use? It's Cut Max. Okay, and so we're going to concentrate on where it says Cut Max, and so we're going to start keyframing Cut Max. We're going to go to our 4-second mark. And so this is starting off at 0. And now we're going to change that to 100. That. I would think I was putting the numbers in the wrong spot. I was putting in cut min. It's supposed to be cut max. And so I have my keyframe starting off at 0 and then coming into 100. So those are the two numbers I'm using for my keyframe. Again, if you add the if you're you can change the composition so it's much, much longer, and you'll get more of the wheel spinning with more colors. But that is the one area in CC plastic that you can get to reveal your colors. Thanks.